Welcome to A.U.M. Ask Us Marketing. I'm your host, Callie Fedesinko. I am the founder of Savvy Advisor Marketing, a digital marketing agency developed to build relationships between financial advisors and their target audience using data to create websites, online content, and ads. We build relationships first and grow numbers second. Learn more about me and Savvy Advisor Marketing with this QR code. Our episode today is brought to you by the Financial Planning Association, who you might know as the FPA. FPA is a great resource center providing education, support, and networking opportunities for, you guessed it, financial advisors like you. Okay, so before we jump into today's episode, quick update. I'm not really here. I'm actually out on maternity leave. So for today's conversation, I have invited a great friend of the show, Matt Halloran, to step in as guest host. And if you don't believe me about maternity, let's just show you a little. There's the belly. Hopefully by the time you're watching this, the baby will be out. But it might be a couple more weeks. Either way, I am not live. So please, thank you, Matt, for taking over. And he will take great care of our guests and of you, our audience.
Hey, everybody, I guess I forgot to push the button in order for all of you to hear me. Oh, my gosh. Thank you, Mando, for that. That was a long period of silence. But as my animation probably told you, I'm really happy to be here. And Kelly can go ahead and beat me up a little bit for not being on immediately. I want to thank Kelly very much for having me on the show as a guest. Our guest today is Mando. Now, Mando is a person who has done unbelievably well with LinkedIn. We're going to dive into that a lot more deeply. If you don't know who I am, please make sure that you connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm the chief evangelist for Zox. And what a freshman mistake. I put my mic on mute, as many of you do. All right. Well, here we go, Mando. We're bringing you in, brother.
What's going on, man? Great to see you.
Oh, dude. Wow. I feel like I was on a roll there too. Like I was saying some really smart stuff. And yeah. And then after you messaged me, I'm like, I just lost all of my smartness. So anyway, all right, dude, let's really, well, first off, would you mind telling a little bit about who you are, what you do, who you work with? Just talk to us a little bit about your life as an advisor.
Yeah, so I am Mando Sallavanti, and it's Mando, not Mando, but it's okay because it's spelled Mando. Everyone thinks it, but I'm Mando Sallavanti. I'm a financial planner. My firm is Freedom Path Wealth. We're affiliated with the Mass Mutual System, and I've been in this business just about 6 years at this point. We work with a lot of people in tech, concentrated stock positions, also people that have come into new money. We're really refocusing into this niche of like sudden wealth or suddenly wealthy families that whether it's stock, whether it's selling a business, whether it's an inheritance, a big bonus that all of a sudden their life changed overnight. That's really where we do a lot of our best work.
Gotcha. All right. But you've been able to take that focus, that niche, and be wildly successful on LinkedIn. And so you decided, well, I'm doing a good job. I should probably start offering this to other people. So the first question that we have here is when advisors first come to you for help on LinkedIn, what is the number one misconception they have and what actually works?
There's a few things. Now, as I've been building my business, right? originally I was just talking to a bunch of advisors that would want help from me and like, yeah, I'll give you some time, I'll give back, I'll help. The blessing and the curse is as I've grown, I obviously have a spotlight on me that a lot of people see my content. I get over 1 million views a month on LinkedIn at this point, and that brings a lot of eyeballs. So eventually I would have to start turning people down, which led to me starting my community followers to fact finders, where I share all of my branding secrets, and some of them we'll talk about today on this show, but I share everything that I have. I bring people in who have taught me things and I let them share their stuff as well. And the biggest things I see people make mistakes on, there's two. Number one, they think that if they niche down and they focus on a specific group, that will cut them off from the rest of the world and they're going to make no money, which is partially true, partially not true. Not true because you won't make nothing if you commit to it. But if you don't commit and you're half into it, half out of it, now you're going to be niching down, actually cutting yourself off from other people. But the ones who you want to get in front of and do business with, they're not going to think, wow, Mando is for me. That's who I need to get as an advisor to help me with this problem. But the only way we can get someone to think, oh my God, this person is for me and they are the only one for me, is by being dialed in. So the paradox is like, you end up being for everyone, you end up being for no one. But if you try to be for a specific group, you'll only be for that specific group of people. But ultimately, you can build a really great business even with being narrow when you really look at the numbers of things. So that's one. The second one, though, is Mondo, my clients aren't on LinkedIn. They're not on social media. Like, I just can't get in front of them. You worked with people in tech and they're all over social media, which partially true. I think tech is one of the more active niches on LinkedIn and really social media in general. But here's something I want you to think about as someone listening. Just because someone's worth $50 million or they're worth $100 million, or maybe they're in a career that isn't typically a creator on social media putting out content, do you actually think they don't consume content? Like, we're in 2026 and everyone has an iPhone. Everyone has a cell phone, maybe not an iPhone, but everyone has a cell phone. And they probably scroll social media at some point throughout their day. Do they use it less? Maybe. But they absolutely are online. And just because they're not the influencer or they're not the person that's out commenting on other people's stuff and being very visible, does not mean they are not lurking and does not mean they are not watching. And for me, out of the clients I've gotten from LinkedIn, Matt, most of them have never liked a post of mine. And people think that's bizarre, but it makes all the sense in the world. So those would be the two biggest misconceptions I see.
Well, and I love the fact that you just really isolated the fact that there are consumers of and participants of and then influencers, which are really three big disparate systems. Like I'm on TikTok all the time. I don't post anything, right? I mean, I just like consuming the content. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm looking for engagement. I also, like you, are trying to be influential when it comes to that. But gaining followers, gaining 1 million impressions, which, by the way, is an astronomical number for those of you who don't understand the LinkedIn game. That's like 100 to 1,000 times more than what most people get. You actually, the Callie wrote this amazing question. Your coaching framework focuses heavily zeroes in on moving people from followers to fact finders. What is the biggest point of friction advisors experience when trying to bridge that gap between a highly engaged post and actually getting them on the call?
Advisors think we live in a linear world. They think it's person follows me, book a meeting. When in reality, it often looks like person connects or follows me on LinkedIn. I send the message and thank them for connecting. They start seeing my content. I send another message after they've liked something later and thank them. They read more content. They like something and message me about that post that they were intrigued in and liked that I'm into fitness and so are they. Then a month goes by. I've been commenting on a couple of their things. They view my profile. I say, hey, thanks for stopping by. Do you have any questions? Oh, Mando, you know what? Actually, I wanted to ask you this thing about X, whatever money topic you want to insert. Most client relationships follow this track where we're not just a straight line. It's like we're on the line, we're up here, we're down here, we're up here, we're down here. Then we get to this point where, oh, wait, there's an opportunity for me to go and have a conversation with them. It's kind of like, think about, I didn't just ask my wife to get engaged to me on the first day I met her. And granted, that's a much larger scale. We only marry one person in life, hopefully, in an ideal world. But with business, it's similar to that. Like, you date, then you get engaged, then you get married. It's not a straight line of just, hey, Matt, want to do business with me? Let's go do this. So back to, let's get into some tactics with this. I think of controllables and uncontrollables. My controllables are, I could focus on who my profile very clearly speaks to. And if they click on it, they could see the solutions I bring, the problems I solve. I can control that LinkedIn lets me send connection requests to anyone I want. And I could go to a very specific target niche market to send those connection requests and get them into my world. I can control what content I put out, and some great ideas for content that I think will significantly enhance your brand. Talk about times you struggled and were vulnerable in the past. Obviously, things you've already overcame. You don't necessarily want to be vulnerable about a struggle you might have right now, this second. I think there's timing that's important. Talk about people who have impacted you, mentors, friends, colleagues. Talk about clients you've impacted and what you've done for them. By the way, collect testimonials from your clients. And if you get them compliance approved, of course, do that, because that becomes great information to inform your content, inform your profile. Do all these things you can control, and then step back and stop asking, when can I get my first client from social media, and approach it in a completely different way, which is, how can I build one new relationship today with no agenda? And if you build enough of those day by day by day, eventually you're going to look up. You've planted so many apple trees that the apples are just ready to be harvested, and they're going to fall off the trees.
Well, you said a whole bunch there that I think are probably going to make some of our audience twitch a little bit. One, you brought up testimonials, right? Which, of course, you have to make sure that that's approved. But you just said there's work involved, Mando. I mean, it's, you can't, what are you talking about? I can't just set it and forget it and send out a bunch of requests. The objection that I've heard forever is I don't have time, right? I don't have time to engage on LinkedIn. I don't, or, here's my favorite, I hate social media, which they have to get over, right? I mean, we have to get over both of those, but you actually talk about having an actual schedule. So let's break down the time management that you have, because obviously the output that you're getting is very, very successful and should be something that advisors are just emulating, but they have to get over that mental hurdle. One, how did you get over that mental hurdle? And two, what do you do every day, dude?
Yeah. So with LinkedIn, there's absolutely a time investment. The hard thing you have to realize, and the harshest reality I can give to anyone listening, is your clients will consume one of two people's content. They will consume yours, or they will consume someone else's who is not you in your industry.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times before I was consistently putting out content to the world that I would get a client that comes in and say, I read this online. I watched this on YouTube. I saw this online. And I'm like, all right, now I have to play defense for 2 hours of an irrelevant point that I should never be talking about. Now, when my clients see stuff, they say, oh man, I saw this online, but like, you don't talk about that. Like, you say to do this, like, these people, I can't even believe they're falling for this stuff. That's what my clients say now. It's like, and I never expected that, but there's something to be said where they equate you to like, oh, you're a creator, they're a creator. I've heard things from you in our meetings that I think are more valid than what I saw there. So I subscribe to your philosophy, not that person's. So that's one of the ancillary benefits. Another thing is, when you talk about the time commitment, getting into more specifics there, it's 30 minutes a day on weekdays to go and engage with other people and be active. Because if you're not active, it's kind of like, imagine there was a networking event and you want to go to a networking event to meet new people and build new relationships, but you sent like a robot clone of yourself to do it. That's going to do nothing for you. Yeah. So with LinkedIn, you do want to schedule in, hey, 30 minutes I'm going to spend on there, reply to comments on my own post. I'm going to go comment on a few other people's posts. I might send some messages, reply to some messages. 30 minutes a day weekdays, so you figure 2.5 hours. And then if you're going to post every weekday, which would be my suggestion for anyone taking it seriously, you probably need an hour-ish to create 5 posts for a week. When you get good at it, you could probably get down to 30 minutes. But even in the beginning, when you're a beginner, maybe 90 minutes to do that at most. So to answer you, like all in all, Matt, I would say 4 hours a week is a reasonable time frame for people. And ultimately, I think once you're doing it and you get a feel for it, then you can delegate and you can find someone to pick up most of it. I would never delegate 100% of it. I'd always be in at least like a quarter of it, just so you know what's going on. But you can obviously work to that.
Yeah. So a couple of things there that I want to emulate. Number one, all of you have 30 minutes. I'm sorry. For those of you who say that you don't, well, you have terrible time management and that you need a coach, right? I mean, honestly, there's all sorts of EOS people out there and performance coaches that can really help you to go ahead and get 30 minutes back into your day. What I've done is I have plugged in my Claude into my Chrome browser. And what it does is every day at different intervals, it searches LinkedIn for the exact kind of posts that Matt Halloran should be interacting with. And then it says, hey, you should talk about this, right? Like Ben Lewis from the FPA just posted something today. And so, I've taught my AI well enough where it actually notices that I almost always comment on Ben's stuff. And so that was one of the suggestions. And I don't have it do 20. I have it do like 3 or 4. Like, hey, Matt, these are really focused on AI or, living a better life or having a better practice, those sorts of things. And guys, it's not super hard to do that. You literally download the Claude Chrome browser, then you set up a project. Anyway, Bellman with co-working, it's pretty simple. But that's a little bit of a time saver. The difference between your life, Mando, and my life is LinkedIn is like my whole job, dude. Like, I'm supposed to be on this every day, all day, and you actually are a full-blown financial advisor. All right. Compliance, dude. We let's just address it. Now, you even work for an organization that compliance is rather strict, but you're still killing it. So how are you able to do that?
There's been a lot of battles over the years, to say the least, with compliance. And I think here's the bottom line. If you approach compliance as like, I'm a hammer and you're a nail and I'm going to come in and hit that damn nail as hard as I could, like, they're not going to do anything for you. Why would someone want to help someone who's just a big jerk to them? Nobody would. But if you can come in and approach it from like, hey, I'm looking for your help. I want to make this work for my business. Here's why. Here's, what I see it doing for me. Can we look to make a solution around this? And I know across the board, whether you're independent, you're an RIA, you're part of a big broker dealer, like Wirehouse, like whoever you're with, you probably have differing compliances. The first step is just communication. Like, over communicate with them and just understand, what are my risks? What do you need me to be cognizant of? What can I do? What can I do? And stay in those lines. And sometimes if you think boundaries can be pushed, I'll be the first to tell you I've pushed boundaries. And I give MML a lot of credit because frankly, they've even changed policies as a result of conversations I've had with them. And that's been really great to see. So I think communication is key.
Well, in the business prevention department, right? Which is the crap that we hear from advisors all the time. And my most successful advisors that I've coached and consulted over the last 20 years, they pull up next to compliance. They find out what those guardrails are. Now they get close to those rails pretty often, but at least they know that they can do it. And if they can't do that, whatever that might be, then they're always going to have okay, well, can I do this? What about this? How can I do this? And LinkedIn, because of the fact that it archives all of the data from a compliance perspective, to be really honest, it's really the safest place for us to be, because like, you can literally click a button on your profile and download every single solitary like, share, comment, post, video, everything that you have ever done. All right. I have so many other questions for you, but I know we've got 9 minutes. So I'm gonna ask you the last one, which is, when you started building this framework quite a while ago, before you were killing it like you are right now, what was one specific marketing lesson or mistake that fundamentally changed the system you have today?
the best thing I did, and I did this from the beginning intuitively, but not intentionally, but intuitively. Like, I thought about it, Matt. When I started in business 6 years ago, I had a strong market because I played college football at two different schools. I was always very involved in my community. So like I had a strong warm market, natural market. So that was really where I started growing my business initially, and it went really well. So when I started on LinkedIn 2 years into my business, I'm like, how do I recreate this environment?
Mhm.
And the way I recreate the environment is building a lot of really good natural relationships with no agenda. And if I have more friends who know what I do, naturally, I'm going to get people that will need what I do and want to talk to me about it. So when I started, that's all I told myself. I'm like, yes, I'm going to like make sure my profile shows the problems I solve, and I'm a financial advisor and this is who we help specifically. Yes, I'm going to do connection requests to get them out to the specific people I want to be working with on LinkedIn. Absolutely, I'm sharing content about myself, my business, educational stuff, industry insights. I'm sharing all of that. But I knew then if I can be intentional with my outreach
Mm.
to just learn about people. Hey, Matt, it's July. Hey, Matt, thanks for supporting my stuff on LinkedIn. What are you looking forward to the rest of this summer? Hey, Matt, how's your summer been? Like simple
Mhm.
stuff like that, which don't get me wrong, half the people you send that to are going to think you're weird,
Yeah.
but half of them, they're going to be like genuinely interested to talk to you.
Mhm.
Now I have a new friend. Now I can foster that relationship. And person by person by person, people ask me a lot of times, like, how'd you grow to 50,000 followers? I'm like, do you want the uncomfortable but real answer? One person at a time.
Yeah.
Like, and don't get me wrong, there's been viral posts, there's been stuff
Mhm.
that happens as one-offs, but you can't control that, including myself. Even, I had a post the other day do 140,000 impressions 2 days ago. I can't tell you why that did versus another post without some speculation, of course. But like I can't tell you, Matt, go do this formula and you're going to do that. But I can tell you how to build one relationship at a time, which leads to compounding.
I just was talking to a woman who is having the same exponential growth as you are. And I was asking her, I said, well, what are you doing? And she said, I message people and just, I ask them how they're doing. How's their summer? Blah, 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 blah. Right. I don't know, Mondo. It's like having an actual normal person conversation on social media is disruptive to some people. But for other people, they're like, oh, you know what? This guy actually, he wrote this, right? It's not one of the canned AI responses that LinkedIn tells you. It's one of those just wonderful things to have that level of warmth, which you are wildly successful with. All right, so we've got. I have one other question, and then for all of you who are still tuned in. Listen, make sure that you're following this channel. Make sure you're following Callie, Mando, please, Mando, damn it, Mando. Please make sure I'll get it right before the end of the show. Make sure that you're following him because, well, Lord knows, you want to really see what's working. This guy's gotten killed. But Callie doesn't normally ask this question, but I do at the end of every one of my shows, which is, what should I have asked you that I didn't?
It's a great question. I think like we hit on a couple things earlier that I don't usually get to, that one of your early questions brought out, which is like, Mondo, I work with people worth $30 million. They're not on LinkedIn. It's like, do you think they don't go on their phone just because they're worth $30 million? Because they absolutely do. Number two, I think if you start something like this and you're not willing to do it for a year, like if you're not
Yeah.
willing to do this for 12 months and then look up and ask like, okay, I've done this, I've been consistent, I followed like feedback when I saw things didn't work or leaned into things more when it did work. If you can't commit for that, don't even start for one day, because all you're going to do is take time away from your business and be frustrated and get mad. So I think like consistency is the biggest key. Something people don't realize about me, and I love saying this because there's public receipts of it. I have posted on LinkedIn every day for more than 4 years. Like literally July 19th of 2022 was the day I committed. So it might be longer than 4+ years, but July 19th, 2022, I've posted at least one time every single day since then. And there's only benefits you can get when you actually do something for 4 years for every single day, there's benefits you could get then that you just can't otherwise. And I think we overlook that so much.
Yeah. Well, one of my favorite people in the world on social is Gary Vaynerchuk. And one of the things he had a young person say, you know, hey, if I could do one marketing thing every day, he's like, every day, grab your phone, record yourself, post it, but most importantly, go back and watch it. Because as you start seeing, oh, okay, well, Matt, you know, I touch my face too much in the videos, or I'm not looking at the camera, or, you know, I have a go-to word that's so, and I say it all the time. Once you start analyzing, and that's one of the reasons why your content has gotten consistently better, because you're a student of the game. And the fact that you played such high-level collegiate sports, right? I also think that puts you in a different league, because most advisors don't practice. They don't watch the tapes. They don't make the small corrections as you did on the field, dude. You knew that if you were doing whatever, and if you adjusted just a little bit one way or the other, it could make literally a game-winning performance. So, all right, Mando, I really appreciate you very, very much. I was going to put your link in the chat, but Callie will take care of that afterwards. Callie, thank you very much for having me on as a guest. I'm sorry I botched the opening, but you know what? Not everybody's perfect, and I don't think anybody expects anybody to be perfect. So for all of you, this is your guest host, Matt Halloran. Make sure that you guys go ahead and click on that QR code to find out more about A.U.M. Ask Us Marketing. And if you want to know more about Savvy, please make sure you follow Callie on social media. And for Mando and Callie and everybody there, I will see you on the other